One of the greatest and most universal lessons I've learned from parenting is you should never, ever bring a big gulp. No, a super big gulp to a parent-teacher meeting. Ever. We were asked to attend a Meet the Teacher night at my kids' Catholic grammar school. My wife couldn't make it home in time, so I had to drag the 5 children along with me. Not optimal, but doable. At this time, 2 were in the stroller and 3 were running wild. So I knew it wasn't going to be easy. But my kids were all sorts of excited. It's funny. All day, all they talk about is getting out of school. But they were thrilled to go back there at night. I'm not sure why. I was afraid my kids were going to cause some kind of commotion or make a mess, so I lectured them the entire ride to school how important it was not to create a commotion or make a mess. Brilliant parenting, right? They all said they understood. So when I arrived, I set them all up in the back of the cafeteria with coloring books and crayons, and they were as good as gold. The 3-year-old boy asked to be let out of the stroller, and I took him out because I was feeling very confident. I set him up in a chair coloring with his sisters. I actually took a moment to congratulate myself on what an awesome parent I was. Just to be safe, I didn't even leave my super big gulp on the table with them. I put it in the stroller's cup holder to be safe. All was going according to plan. But then there were a few other parents who came in with their children to the conference, and they just started dropping their children off at my table and leaving, going up to the front where all the adults without children were. I was a little stunned, but I started thinking maybe they thought the school was providing an area for the children to play. They weren't. It was just me with my 4 mobile kids and one stuck in the stroller who wasn't happy at that moment because there was no food being put in her mouth. One boy in particular was dropped off. He said his name was Joey. And I can tell, just the way you can tell, that Joey was going to be a problem. Joey didn't know from inside voice, and Joey didn't know from standing still. So I'm there, I'm trying to pull a modern-day miracle of loaves and fishes with the paper and the crayons for all the kids. I'm trying to keep the baby quiet, listen to the speech from the school principal, take part in the prayer, and sign in while watching 4 of my mobile children and 13 other children who look vaguely familiar to me, but over whom I have no real authority whatsoever. And I was pretty sure they knew it, especially Joey. Suddenly, the baby begins rocking back and forth wildly in her stroller because some of the children, Joey, are laughing at her when she does it. So she's laughing, which makes all the kids laugh. And I'm shushing them. I'm starting to get looks at the back. And did I mention this place is blazing hot? I mean hot, like practice for hell, hot. Catholic schools don't know from air conditioning. So I decide the baby needs a change of pace, so I walk her up the middle aisle while still looking over my shoulder at the children, especially Joey, who's now decided to get up to go to the water fountain. I'm secretly resenting Joey big time right now. Now, because Joey got up, all the kids get up and start wandering around like dazed primates. They don't even know why they got up. They just know that one of their own got up and there were no consequences, so it's time to get up for all. It's anarchy back there. So I'm trying to turn the stroller around to come back down the middle aisle to bring the consequences. And then it happens. In my efforts to turn around quickly, I knocked my soda right out of the stroller's cup holder. My gulp. My super big gulp. My 64 ounces of black bubbly mess lands with a thud loud enough for everyone in the hottest cafeteria in the world to turn around and look at me. The baby heard the thud, got startled, turned her head quickly right into the side of the stroller. Whack! And she's now, I'm watching her, inhale all the air in the room in order to scream the scream of angry baby anguish in an echoing, hellishly hot cafeteria. I see it happening and there's nothing I can do. While she's still inhaling, the soda spreads rapidly under the chairs of everyone in a 10, 15, 18-yard area. Insert scream here. Every person with eyes looks up at the wide-eyed, sweating, irresponsible dad who's clearly incapable of watching his children. Then they all look down on the floor at the expanding mess. They're lifting their feet, and they all look back at me accusedly. The principal actually stops her speech, and we make eye contact for a moment. Her look isn't even mad. It's so much worse than that. Her look says, "Yeah, this is exactly what we all expected from you." Nobody moves to help. They all just stare. And that's when it hits me. There's no way to fix this. So I slowly reach over, I pick up the wailing baby and put her on my shoulder, and I begin dragging the stroller backwards down the aisle, leaving an oozy trail behind me like a carbonated slug. In all the excitement, I must have kicked the brake on the stroller, so it's not even rolling. It's literally being dragged, and it's making that awful noise like the one when you drive with the emergency brake on. After about a minute where I'm the focal point of the entire disapproving universe, the speech starts up again, and a few people moved up a few rows to avoid the mess. So I drag my defeated self to the back of the cafeteria. I start for the first time wondering, what am I going to do? And I feel a tap on my lower back. I turn around, and there's Joey. Joey is holding 2 squares of toilet paper up to me. You see, he had run into the bathroom and obtained 2 squares of toilet paper for me to clean up my mess. And suddenly, I'm laughing because I feel like putting Joey up on my shoulders and praising him as the best child in the world. I also start laughing because the mess that I created would laugh at 2 squares. I would need a kayak to navigate this puddle. It had tides. It was so deep. But to my astonishment, this brigade of formerly unwanted children rushed into the cafeteria after finding vast supplies of toilet paper from the bathroom. They rushed right into the middle of the puddle and were down on their hands and knees on the shore of Lake Gulp and dropping their little toilet paper squares in. They'd pull them out, hug them close to their chest, and run back to the bathroom, leaving trails of soda behind them, and they loved it. Nothing better than a Ferris wheel full of cookies rolling into the cafeteria would have been more exciting than this to them. As they passed me on the way back to the bathroom, they all were smiling excitedly, some of them mouthing words which I couldn't understand over the now whimpering baby. And that's the thing. Kids know what to do when they make a mess. They know that everyone eventually makes a mess. They clean it up, even 1 toilet paper square at a time. I think adults forget that sometimes. I finally found a mop in a nearby storage closet and beat back the soda swamp mess. My mess. My commotion. Finally, we all went upstairs to meet the teachers. It was even hotter up there. One of the untold benefits of Catholic school is that children don't need to be taught that heat rises. The kids on the 2nd floor just kind of figure it out. Now, because I had 3 children in the school, we could only stay for a few minutes in each classroom, where I'd quickly glance at their artwork and listen to this teacher say how excited and organized they were. But in each of the classrooms, I noticed a few members from my team of child laborers by the soda stains on their shirt and pants. They waved to me excitedly, as if we hadn't seen each other in months. Their parents did not wave. They were less happy to see me. But me and the soda stain brigade, we're cool. We're home team. They had my back when things got messy. I'll babysit them in the back of the hottest cafeteria in the world anytime.